Welcome back. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do some homemade spaghetti sauce. It's better to stuff in a jar any day of the week. So we got a medium onion, a bell pepper, and some mushrooms. And we're going to sweat that down a little bit. And then while that's starting to cook down a little bit, we're going to take some ground beef. We use ground beef, but if you don't need, if you're vegan or what's the other one there? I can't think of it. But anyway, but they have the ground meat that's vegetable, like vegetable meats and stuff that's for vegans. You can use it. Let me turn the light on. So what we're going to do is we're going to brown this, get it browned. So make sure it's all incorporated, all put together. Because this is going to be, it's going to take a while to cook down. What I want to do is I'm going to cook this down, and then we're going to put in our crushed tomatoes that I put up. And when the tomatoes and stuff come into season, we're going to do a lot of canning, and I'll show you how we do canning here. We can crush jalapenos. I make salsa, bread. we do it all here, and it's a lot cheaper than buying that stuff in the store, and it's better for you because in here all you have is tomatoes and a little bit of salt, like a teaspoon. Well, I make a big pot, so I put a tablespoon. Just boom, that's it. So it's better for you. It really is. I don't know that there's a lot of sugars and stuff in that stuff that you buy at the store. And I don't care for all that because it's really bad. If you're diabetic, it's really bad on sugar. When you eat that processed stuff, it kind of raises your sugar. Well, so does pasta, but who don't like pasta? I love it. So, and when you make the pasta, it's something you have to keep in mind and remember. When you're cooking it, a lot of people say, put oil in it. No. Water, salt. Make it taste like the sea. Like sea salt. Salt water. Good stuff. Throw the spaghetti in, cook it, and then you're done. Once the spaghetti's done. But this, you can leave cook all day. So once this is cooking good, we get it going. We're going to add a little bit of stuffus to it, like granulated garlic. Get a good heaping. If you really like garlic like I do, add a little extra. Okay, Italian seasoning. Pretty good stuff. What you want to do is a tablespoon and a half. That's all you need. And then just mix it in there. And people say, oh, wait a minute, you got to strain that. You got to drain that off. I'll show you a trick. To really, once it's done cooking, and the meat's done cooking, you want to get the grease out of it. You want to get it calmed down a little bit, because there's going to be water in there. There's going to be a little... Easiest way to do that, you can put it in a colander, strain it out, or you can do like I do. Put it all to one side, tilt the fry pan, let all the juices run to one side, take some paper towels and soak the juice and the grease out of it. You don't have to cook it, you don't have to clean another pan. So, with this, you can usually do this first thing in the morning and then put it on simmer and let it simmer all day long. The longer you let it simmer, the better it tastes. Like I said, you put your garlic in there and if you want salt and pepper, if you want to put a little in there. I try not to cook with a whole lot of salt, because that's not good for you either. You get too much salt. But with the once this cooks down, when we add our, we're going to add our or crushed tomatoes in there. And if it's, because it's thin, you know, there's a lot of water in the crushed tomatoes, and if you want a thicker paste, a thicker sauce, or like some of the Italians call it gravy, you can add tomato paste. But if you have the time, let it simmer, let it cook down itself. But if you like your spaghetti sauce a little more with more water and more liquidy, then just add some tomato juice. That's the best thing. If you want to have a little, thin it down so it goes a little further, put a little tomato juice in it. And we like I said, we have our own tomato, we make our own. So put a little of that in there, and then we can call it a day on that. But I like to cook mine for a good couple of hours. And then I do the garlic bread. Like I said, if you watch the video where I make bread, I'll take that loaf and I'll cut like Texas style toast. And I have some spread that we put on it. It's garlic spread. And then stick it in the oven. Let it toast up. And then it's on then. Spaghetti's on. So we're going to get this to cook down a little bit. And I would sing or dance, but it's not a good idea. I sing tenor 10 or 12 miles that way. And when we come back, I'm going to have, this will be done, and I'm going to start on the spaghetti and with the garlic bread. So y'all stick around. We'll be right back. Okay, here we come all the way around the corner. All this hard work makes a man thirsty. Grab your favorite beverage. Mine is ice and water. But I did find something in my cabinets. Not sure why it's there. I think one of the kids brought it over in case I wanted to make spaghetti for the kids, but I'm here to tell you, this ingredients in this is tomato puree, water, tomato paste, salt, olive oil, sugar, dehydrated onions, dehydrated garlic, spices, could be anything, garlic powder, citric acid, and onion powder in that. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. I don't want to eat it if I can help it. But if the citric acids in tomatoes upset your belly and you want to cut that acid down a little bit, use a little bit of red wine vinegar. Maybe a tablespoon and a half. just kind of cut the acids down a little bit. But that's what I would do. That's what I would do. But I love tomatoes, so it doesn't bother my stomach. But some people, it does. So just put a little red wine vinegar in there, not a whole lot, just a little bit. Cut the acids down a little bit. It'll still be flavorful. Get our toast going. I'm gonna go ahead and fire up the back eye there to get so we get the noodles cooking. And we are on a roll here. I think we're on a roll. Not that I want to roll, but I want Texas toast with butter on it. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. We're going to let this cook, and when this comes to a boil and the bread's all done, I'll pull it out and I'll give it a shot and I'll show you what we're dealing with and what it's going to look like on a plate. Again, stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, our water's boiling. I'm going to dump in our pasta and spread it around a little. And we get our little pasta spoon. Get it ready. Throw that in the garbage. Okay. Let this start to cook down here a little bit. Give this a mix up. This here, I'll slow her down a little bit. And take a peek at our toast. Let's give our toast a spin here. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. Okay, we got our noodles in. They're going to start cooking. And let's hope this is all working out good. So, while these noodles are cooking, leave me a comment if you want to see more cooking videos. I don't mind it. I really like to cook. Tell me if you want the recipe on this, leave me a comment and I'll shoot you the recipe. And in the summertime here, once the tomatoes and everything start coming in and we start canning, I will do some canning videos. So everybody can see how we can and how we put up our stuff for our tomato juice and our crushed tomatoes and our peppers and jalapeno peppers. We put those up. We have a lot of fun here when we're putting them up. Me and my wife go together and just feed on one another and just have a good time. Every now and again, she just slaps me around, keeps me in blind, you know, as my sisters would say. And this is one of, actually, my older sister. This is one of her favorite meals. So when she's here, this is what I like to cook for her when she's here. Then we're going to be doing, on Memorial Day, I'm going to cook a whole ribeye loin, smoke it. My daughter, coming up from Florida, her and her husband, or boyfriend, or whatever he is coming up. Chuck. And we're going to do that. So stay tuned. That'll be coming, like I said, Memorial Weekend. So stay tuned for that. Let me think of what else I'm going to do. I think that's about it. We just got to wait now for all this to be done and put it on a plate. This may take a minute. Because I got the stove we bought a couple of years ago. Worst thing we ever got. It has these temperature things in they're just awful. It'll get hot and then it'll cut off. It'll get hot and then cut off. Get hot and cut off. It's aggravating as all get out. If you want something to boil, it's like when we're canning and we want something to boil, it seems like sometimes forever. Because these eyes, they'll get hot and they'll get to a certain temperature and then they shut off. And they won't come back on until they get to a certain temperature, down or lower temperature. And it's enough to make you just say dirty words like, son of a shucky darn, you know? So, hopefully we don't have to say those dirty words today because it's not good. I have to get my mouth washed out with soap or something. And a lot of people like their spaghetti al dente. And if you don't know what al dente is, it just kind of like a little pull on your teeth. When you bite into it, it has a little pull. I like mine between al dente and done. Some people take the noodles out, throw them against the wall. If it sticks, they're done. Yeah, but if you have spaghetti quite a few times a year, wouldn't it going to make the wall look like I don't know. Just something to think about. And while this is cooking, some useless information. Your tongue is the only muscle in your body connected at one end. Did you know that? Also, your eyes can see your nose, but your brain chooses to ignore it. My brain chooses to ignore a lot of things. So, what does that say? Don't stop that. I heard that. No. Well, you got your opinion. Go ahead and say it. Because I think I heard you. Wait, over you. Yeah, over there. Uh-huh. I heard it. I heard it. And I know a couple other people that may see this and say the same thing. So, but freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. But we are, wonder why this keeps shutting off. I'm going to have to look into that. Darn thing. I'm going to have to check on that. I even forgot what I was talking about. But anyway, you see that our bread's done. We got our plates out. Let's turn you around here a little bit. Turn it down a little bit. See, we got our spaghetti plates out. So here. We'll have a pair of forks, one for each hand, and our spaghetti. Cook a little bit more. If you want to test it, all you got to do is get one out. Just one, don't need two. And just give it a taste. See this? That's got quite a bit of pull. Still needs to cook a little longer. Yeah. So, We'll let that cook up. I'll be back in a minute. Okay. Got our stuff just about done here. Our spaghetti's almost done. We are turning it around, flip. You got to keep stir it a little bit, make sure it don't stick. And then when you get ready, have your colander in the sink, which I have mine. And once this is all done, we're just going to rinse it. I pour it into the colander. Different people have different ways of doing it. I like to take mine, put water over it, and once it's covered, leave it sit for a minute. Leave it sit for a minute, because if you leave your spaghetti sit, it clumps up. If it doesn't have water, after a while it just sticks together, like gum to the bottom of your shoe. So let it sit in water for a bit, and then what we'll do, we'll take a plate. Let's put our fork over here. Take a plate, or put a little spaghetti on. All right, and then we're going to come over here. We're going to get a little bit of the meat gravy here, the sauce. Pour it on. Spread it everywhere. So it kind of looks like that. So now you take your Texas toast and you put on there. Some people like that, the shake-on Parmesan. If you like that, get some of that, or some shredded Parmesan, put on there. And then go ahead, start eating. I like Slappy Mama. I like to put a little of that on everything. Give it a little good shake there. And then the next thing to do is taste it to see if it's any good. So we just wind up a little here. That's not bad. Take your toast, dip in some of the juice. That's pretty good as well. So don't forget, I got a mouthful. Like, share, and subscribe. If you want the recipe, in the bottom, in comments, I'll send it to you. Also, you can go back, if you want to do the Texas toast thing, you can go back and watch my bread video. And under one of the comments that's in there is the full recipe, step by step, start to finish. That recipe makes 2 loaves of bread, and it's really good. So, like I said, like, share, subscribe. But until next time, America.